thanks for joining. Well, I'll start again. Hi everyone, Vacha here from Recording Studio 9, and thanks for joining me again on a live stream Q&A session for month of February 2018. I hope you guys can join me. I'll be looking at the chat and answering some questions, as well as talking about anything and everything about audio and music production and what's been happening in the studio as well, and everything else. So I hope you will join me, and together we can have great time. I've got my laptop here where I can actually see and what is happening. Hopefully it is working. And yeah, so if you have just joined in, say hi, don't be shy, and we can chat along. Yeah, so what's been happening? Hope you are having a great time. I hope you are creating music, because that's what we want to do. Okay, we actually have Herbert. Hello, says hi. Good to see you live, my friend. Likewise, thanks for joining in, and thanks for chatting. And I hope I'll be able to answer a few questions. That's the whole idea of the live stream that I do. On top of the videos and the comments that I actually make and answer queries on my videos. Hopefully this will give you a little bit more interactive, so you can actually ask the questions and get an answer pretty much straight away, rather than waiting for 24 hours until I actually get a chance to answer them. So yes, so it's all good. Thanks for joining, and I'm using my mobile phone, my iPhone, and hopefully I will be also able to move it around and show you around some things in the studio as well. So feel free to ask. Okay, let's have a look at some of the comments. And the question I get is what time it is with you in Australia. Well, here it is 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday the 24th of February. And I also have Brian saying hello. Hello, Brian. Thanks for joining in. I hope you guys will have some questions as well. Looks like we have about 4 have already joined in. I know it's sometimes because where I'm located in Sydney, Australia, most of my YouTube subscribers and followers are in the rest of the world, like in US and UK, in Canada, and also all other parts of the world, which normally the times that I'm able to do live streaming, everybody else is sleeping at 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. So this is the only time that I get a chance to do live stream and answer questions. Okay, what's been happening? Well, in the studio, I have been quite busy. I have had a couple clients which I've been creating music for, and I'm working on a new song as well for a client. And I also do lots of other work here, other than just creating music. I also do VHS to DVD conversion, and the reason I mentioned that, because I will show you later on, I have 2 boxes full of VHS videos, which are all family movies, videos. They want to be converted, and they are about 30, 35-year-olds. So, and they're sitting right there. So that ties me up quite a bit, because the hours I have to sit down and actually convert them. So, yeah. So it's not just music here. I also do obviously some video conversion. I don't do much video editing, other than just correcting the VHS videos. The only video work I do is creating my YouTube videos here in the studio. So yeah, as far as new equipment, I will show you what I've been acquired lately, and I will talk about them as well. So we've got a few more. It says, wow, amazing. It's 11 p.m. here in Florida on the 23rd. The rest of the world is way behind. That's actually not true. Even though Australia is time-wise, on timeline, we are a day ahead, but in technology-wise, we are way behind. There'll be things which I see on YouTube, reviews and things of products that's something I could actually use. And when I go and inquire to the music shop here, not one, not two, like I've got 4 or 5 music shops as well as online shops here for those products to have a look, see if something I actually can use. And they say, well, it's not actually going to be here for another 6 months. You go, ugh. And they're twice as expensive. That's how bad it is here. You might be ahead in the time zone, where we're way behind in getting any new technology here. Brian asks, do you think that the reflection filter is necessary? There is a big difference if you don't use it. The reflection filter, you're probably referring to what's behind me there. It all depends on your room. In this room, it all depends on who am I recording. A lot of the times, I'm not using that reflection microphone. But if I've got loud vocalist, then that reflection is actually in there. And I also sometimes have panels behind them as well, so sort of behind the guy. So as he's singing, he's got something behind and the reflection at the front, because I don't want any room reflection going into the microphone. But vocalists who are not loud and they've got a very gentle voice, most of the time you don't need it. You can do without it for sure, because again, it's all in your room. I mean, this room is not dead. I don't want this room to be dead, even though I've got quite a few reflectors here and panels to absorb a lot of the reverberation, but I don't want it to be a dead room, so you don't see everything covered in this room. So because I want liveliness, otherwise it'd be dead sound, and sometimes it's not really desired. You really want a natural room in there as well. You don't want your vocalist to be dry, dead sound. You want some of the natural flow, what you hear normally. So that's why, and there's only one time that I ever had to use the reflector for narration as well, that I had to do for a video as a narration for the video backing, but that's about it. Yeah, I mean, as I said, it's all depend on the room. Hope that answers that question. And we have Phil asking, where is that ART you promised me on Facebook? Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. It's there you go. Take it. You can have it all, Phil. It's all yours. It just, ow. Got it? You getting it? Yeah, got it? Oh, here we go. Got it. Then hold it. Yeah, there we go. Hold on. You got it? Ah, cool. Excellent. Let me know how you go, okay? I want to hear it. Because I haven't heard it yet. I haven't opened it up yet. So let me know how you go, okay? Don't, you nearly dropped it there. You nearly dropped it there. Okay, good. Yeah, so any questions? Because I only do the live streaming once a month. So I hope I'll be able to help you a lot more. I've been looking at, actually, one thing I should mention, because I've done quite a few videos on the Magix Music Maker free version, the free version, which is what I have. I don't have the paid version. Showing you how you can actually use Magix Music Maker free to create music using sound loops, samples, and so on. And I have purchased the add-on features for MP3 output and more tracks than limited 8, which is available. So actually my next song then I'm arranging, I'm actually using Magic Music Maker Free to arrange it. So I will be arranging it in Music Maker. Once the arrangement is done, I will be exporting the stems into my usual DAW, which is Studio One Pro, and then finishing it off there and recording the vocals in there and all the harmonies, and any other instrument that I need to add will be added in there. But majority of the arrangements, from the drums, the bass, the keys, the synths, and anything else which is part of the music arrangement, is actually going to be done Music Maker Free. Now that's hard to believe, because every time I make a video about Music Maker, I always get, several thumbs down, because people go, that's what a crappy software, what a crappy thing. But it's all up to how you use it and what you want to use it for. I hope that makes sense. For me, to be able to be creative in a sense of dragging the loops, playing the loops, and making the song, it speeds up the process because of the special ability or the algorithm, as well as the available sound pools, which allow you to actually have multiple scales, chord progression in there, makes it really easy. Where if I need to do it in Studio One, I have to drag each different pool, edit it. It will probably take me 3 or 4 times longer to do it in Studio One than in Music Maker Free. So you got to use what's available, what makes things to go really quick and free. So yeah, people go, what a crappy software, it's just not worth it, it's too limited, and this and that, whatever. But it works, it works for me. I just paid, I think, about $20 to get those 2 additional features, and where I go. So I can get the sound pools. They're not that expensive. Funny enough, I should mention, the same sound pool you can purchase in Music Maker Free for probably about $20. And that's a version where you cannot commercially release. Now, because the songs that I obviously arranged going to be commercially released, I go and purchase a commercial license for them. So you got to remember that. And they are about $50. Sometimes I even purchase a whole sound pool for $8. And that's for full commercial release. So I can create a song, I put it on iTunes, put it on Spotify or on YouTube, and it's all fully licensed, so fully commercial, no limitation. So you got to look at those things as well when you're creating commercial music. But for background music or for your own little arrangements that you want to do, included samples are pretty good. Okay, let's have a look some of the comments that's been happening, and I'll be blabbing on. And we have quite a few people here. We've got 8 people on board. Thanks everybody for joining. Yeah, I hope Phil got the ART tube compressor there. And I've got a question. How many takes on a vocal recording is necessary or recommended? I usually do 3, maybe up to 4. And my way of doing it is I get the singer to sing from the start of the song all the way to the end of the song 3 times. And if I'm still not happy, I might get them to do maybe a 4th time. But if it's only certain section, maybe the 2nd verse, or usually the 1st verse or the 1st chorus, where it's just not right, I might get them to sing that part again. But any more than 4, and if still not good, I tell them the door is that way. Go practice and come back later, because you're really wasting time. You really need to nail it by the 4th time. because by the time you are recording the fourth take for the vocal, you already are in the studio for about an hour. So your voice is already tired, and you're not going to get that feeling anymore. So that's my methodology. A lot of people will actually just sing the verse as many times as they need until they get it right, and then move on to the chorus and the bridge and everything else. But my way of doing it, and that's how I always recorded for years. For the past 25 years, I usually get them to record the full song. That way, I believe you can capture more of the emotion of the song, so you're not stopping and repeating the same words over again. You actually want to sing the whole song, so you can pass on the message of your singing to your audience. You know, that's how I believe it should be. And then once I've got 3 or 4 takes, then I can comp for the best ones as one master track, and then work from there. And then once I've got my master track, then I start doing manual editing, where I manually compress and expand the verses, the words, and lines, and then just pass on to further compression and EQ if necessary, and so on. So that's how I do it. Another question. Hi, can I do best sound recording at home with PreSonus Audio Box and Sound Studio One? I think it's Sound One, Studio One. Please give a genuine answer. My genuine answer is, it's not about the gear that you have, it's about the experience you have. You can record, you could have the best equipment, but if you don't know how to use it and you don't have the experience, it will still turn up crap. So the best thing is, my advice would be, and pretty much everybody would advise, is to practice. Whatever you have, the Audio Box and Studio One, and then plug it in and record and listen and find out what's wrong with your recording, and then work out how you can fix it. If it's too muddy, how to fix muddy. If it's too bright, how to fix it. If it's too boomy, how to fix it. And then learn and get that experience, and then you can create any song, any release with any equipment, basically. To a certain degree, obviously. So if you've got the PreSonus Audio Box, that means you've got 2 input or 2 output, or maybe it's the 4 input, 4 output ones. So you'll be limited by the number of inputs. But if you're the only one recording, then even Audio Box 2 in, 2 out will still give you professional quality sounding songs, as long as you have the experience. So experience is the key, not the equipment, not the gear. So I hope that answers that question. And Phil says, I used Magic in the past. Yes. They're a very great company. They've been on for quite some time. They have supported me in many places. They have given me, I think, Magic Samplitude Studio, Music Studio license for, and they have also given me license for SoundForge, which they bought it off from Sony anyway, and they offered me license for Music Maker Premium, but I said not yet. I want to see if I can achieve radio ready song quality using the Magic Music Maker Free, because I know if I get the premium, I can purchase it, but I'm trying to limit myself to the Music Maker Free with the 2 add-on features to see how far I can take it. Because if I have the premium version, it'd be easy. So yeah, there's that too as well. So they have supported me in many ways, and I hope my videos demonstrate their product and how you can actually use, and you can actually get creative with them and make songs. Pallavi says, how about Cubase? Yeah, I think that's from the previous question. It doesn't matter what software you are using, your DAW, the Digital Audio Workstation. If you are fluent with the software, if you know the software, then you can even use Audacity to record music. You know, the free software, as long as you know how to use it. And you have to be really fluent with it. So I know Cubase, I'm not fluent with it. I know Pro Tools, I'm not fluent with it. I know Reaper, but I'm not really fluent with it. I use it quite often, but I'm not that fluent with it. But Studio One Professional, I'm very fluent with it. Anything I record, you know, I can get the song ready, all done, mixed, and eventually mastered, you know, in no time. But if I have to do it in Cubase, it's going to take me much longer because I'm not used to it. I don't know all the tricks in there because I don't use it that often. So I hope that answers the question. Again, it comes to experience. If you have Cubase and you know how to use Cubase, just put Studio One aside and use Cubase and learn that. And then as you go along, you can actually learn about you know, Studio One as well whenever you get a chance. And Phil says, I still have sample CD-ROMs. Okay, now that I have given you the ART tube compressor, maybe you can send me some of the samples. No, just joking. Just joking. Brian says, speaking of, good day from Brian 2.0. I'm fascinated by your use of Music Maker. I own a full version and hate it. I hate Sonar only 1/3 as much. I was curious if you ever looked at Home Studio. Yeah, yes. As I said, it's all up to knowing it. You know, I get comments about Music Maker videos that I have made that it just doesn't work, the sound doesn't come out, or it crashes. I'll be really honest, I have not had one crash. I have never had Music Maker free to fail on me, whether I'm using on my laptop or on my main PC, it's on my main PC as well, or on my tablet. I even have a Windows 8 tablet, which sometimes I take it with me and I can just play around with it and, you know, get some ideas. I haven't crashed it. I don't know. Maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I know how to set things up. And most of the time when they say the sound doesn't come out, how do I play it? It's only because they don't have the right setup of their audio settings, whether they don't have an you know, sometimes they don't even have an audio interface. They're just using the speakers on the laptop, and obviously to get a better performance you might need to install ASIO for all, to have ASIO drivers in there so that even your laptop speakers can perform better than the Windows audio and all those sort of things. Or, you know, I get a whole heap of questions, and when I inquire saying, okay, what is your setting, how do you have it set up, what audio driver in fact, I never get any response. And I hope that my questioning actually triggered them to find out what is wrong with it, and they fixed it, and they don't have to worry about asking more questions about it on my videos. So yeah, I mean, I also have Sonar. I have Sonar as well as Cakewalk, the home studio that just released early last year. I have a Music Creator as well from Cakewalk. And good news, by the way, Cakewalk has been bought by BandLab, which is another company. So Cakewalk last November went bankrupt, and Gibson decided not to what's the word? So Gibson actually said, okay, no more development. It's out, finished. We're not making money from Cakewalk, so it's out the door. No more development. So, but just as in yesterday or the day before, BandLab, which is another online music DAW thing, they bought them. So hopefully Cakewalk will be resurrected and continued, because again, it's about learning how to use it. I've recorded many songs with Cakewalk Sonar. I think X1, and then the artist also as well. So features are there. Though I think Cakewalk Sonar did, for me, it had a lot of what you call it. It used a lot of CPU for me, but it still worked. Okay, going back to more comments, and if you have just joined, welcome, and I hope I'll be able to answer your questions as well. I have hello from Seoul, hello, and I use Reaper, and Phil says I use Reaper and FL Studio. I do have Reaper, which I use quite regularly. FL Studio, I actually got donated FL Studio, and that's next in my list of DAWs to try to learn and use it. But because mostly I actually record live instruments, I don't use much loops and electronic dance music or EDM music production. I haven't had much chance to look at FL Studio, so I'll be looking at that as well. And looking on, it says, I miss Sonic Foundry. Sony abused the rights. I think they're talking about Magic taking it over. Okay. Brian says, I think the response, to be clear, ASIO is there. It's simply about the interface. Magic Music Maker is what Brian is talking about, and the graphical user interface. It's not its best. It's not the best. I have to say, yeah, I have to agree on that one. The interface, it's sort of very, as long as you don't move things around and leave things as they are, and you just sort of turn the browsing off, turn the keyboard section off, and you've got the whole timeline, then you're fine. But as soon as you start moving things around, they get a little bit messy. So, and you basically, what you need to do is press F4, I think, and it just puts it back into the default state. Yes, on that sense, I do agree. It's not as user-friendly. Just bear with me for guys. Here we go. Yep. And Nuno says, hello, by the way. Hi, Vache. Just wanted to let you know that I bought the Aeris E8 after watching you calibrate yours. Well, congratulations. There's one right there. Yeah, I have had this for about 4 years now as my main monitors. They are fantastic. In my old room, they had some problem because of the room size, and there's limited things that I could do when I first purchased them, because my studio was in my house, a room in the house. Now that I've actually have my own studio here, I have lots of treatment here with bass traps and reflectors and deflectors everywhere. So I get a better response from it. So I only have to cater for one frequency in here, which peaks, which is just the mode of the room. And if I have to put absorption for that frequency, which is I think about 65 to 70 hertz, it has to be something this big. So maybe about 10 or 12 inches thick. And that will take a lot of room in here. So I use equalization to actually equalize that peak and bring it down. I hope that makes sense. Other than that, the rest of the frequency above 120 hertz or so, they're pretty much flat all the way through. So yes. And again, it's all up to getting to know your speakers by listening to commercial music on them, by listening to your own songs on them and comparing them. and your ears will get used to it, so you know what sound you're getting, especially when you're mixing and mastering. So congratulations with that speaker. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. I'm pretty sure. Um, RIP Cakewalk. That explains the disappearance from Steam, I suppose. That's what Brian says. Um, yes, Cakewalk might be resurrected very, very soon. So, because BandLab, bandlab.com, which is an online collaborative DAW, have bought the certain rights from it, from Gibson Guitars, and hopefully they will resurrect it. Oh, good message. Oh, okay. And B-Pick says, so you know Studio One? Yes, I know Studio One. That's my main DAW, the Pro version that I use, and all my music is recorded, mixed, and mastered on that. Anyway, I hope quite a few people have already seen the last acquisition that I had, was, which I made a video about it yesterday, was the KNS 8400. Yeah, they retail for $279. Got a phone call on my phone. Yep, I'm back. I just got a phone call on the phone. So, yeah. So, and I made a video about it. And the whole reason of me making the video is to show that if you don't need something, then wait until they're on special, and then your want can become affordable. You know, I don't need those headphones. I've got plenty of headphones, but that's another thing. But something I actually been needing for quite some time, but wouldn't be able to afford it. But I got a special deal, and now I have. This is. Phil, can you give it back to me, Phil? Here we go. Yeah, just give it. I got it. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Thanks, Phil. Okay, is the new ART Pro VLA stereo tube compressor. So this will be sitting on my. There we go. Like that. Yeah, I haven't opened it yet. This will be sitting on my bench. There we go. Sorry. So that it's a compressor, tube compressor, that will be used mostly for my mastering purposes. So when I'm mastering, I like analog feel. So it'll come out of my DAW as a stereo track being mastered, and into the tube, and be compressed, and then fed back and recorded back in my DAW, which I will make a video of how I actually use that to do my mastering, for people who are interested how that is actually done. So I do have, quite a few. I don't have that many plugins. I'm not too much fan of plugins. Most of the time I use the stock plugins from Studio One. I have, maybe a dozen plugins from Waves and Melda Production as well, and few others. But most of the time I use hardware to do all my hard work. So when a microphone is plugged in, I have Studio Channel, I have the ART Tube Mic Pre, and I also have the Behringer VX2000, which is a vocal mic pre as well. So they get already EQ'd and compressed very gently on the way in. So when I'm editing the track and mixing it, I hardly need any more than one compressor and a little bit of EQ just to correct it, and that's about it. So yeah, I like hardware, and I use the Studio One Pro pipeline VST plugin to come out of my interface into my audio processor, whether if it's a compressor or an EQ, and then come back in and then print it, save it that way. So that's how I use it. So I will make some videos on it. Okay, and Nuno says, for the Eris E8s, thank you, I'm loving them. I have low end on -2 because I had them close to the wall. Yeah, my Eris E8s are about maybe 8 or 10 inches away from the wall. And I think I do have at -2 as well, because that's the setting I get the best result from it. But if I move further away, I might have to increase it. But if I get any closer, again, -4 setting. Yep. Going to, I guess the next one is about Studio One. For some reason, I can't pan my guitars left or right in my Studio One. When I turn the volume all the way right, it lowers the volume on the pan pot instead of panning the guitars. What do I have set to do? Now, when you're recording your guitar, are you recording as a mono track or stereo track? Because that could be the issue. Because normally guitars I would record on mono track so that you can pan it left and right. But I'm not sure what you mean there. That was actually, if I pan left to right, all it does is some reason raise the volume up or down, not the panning. Yeah, maybe you don't have your output set as stereo or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, obviously it's affecting as you're turning left, volume goes down, right, volume goes down, in the middle, volume is right. So that I would check your output settings, whether you have your output in stereo or not. Okay, Brian says, looking forward to your evaluation of the VLA. I have AR's DPS2, the SNDRX 2000, and a very nice PS4X power conditioner, or N-Tube MP USB. You'll love the VLA. Just add nice tubes. Yes, I think... Oh no, that's fine. I was actually thinking about getting the ART power conditioner, but I think I've got the Samsung one because it was cheaper. And I could get it within 2 days. Phil says, is it the same one like the guy you collaborated with? He has a channel like yours, forgot his name. That ART. Maybe. I think Chad from Your Home Recording Studio, I think he's got the ART VLA as well. So... it might have been in one of his videos. Yeah, I think that's what you mean. And Brian says, split the channel to left, right before panning. Yeah, I think you might have recorded the mono track into stereo and then it's getting all conflicted. Yeah, guitars, anything which has one input, make sure your tracks that you are recording is mono. And then you can pan it left or right. Otherwise you'll have like this sort of issues, unless you're recording stereo signal like a keyboard or electronic drum or synthesizers which are stereo, then you can have a stereo track. Otherwise it should be all mono. I use Studio Live 24 Series 3 BPix. Wow, yes, I was actually thinking of getting the Studio 16 Series 3, Studio Live 16 Series 3. But I ended up getting this one. Maybe in the future I'll get it. It all depends, because this is the Behringer UFX 1604 and it has 8 inserts, and because I use inserts all the time for external gear, So it was quite important for me to have those insert plug on the actual mixing console, where Studio Live they don't have inserts because they convert the signal right at the input from analog to digital, so they can process it digitally all the way through and then out back again to digital to analog as your main outputs. At the same time, because it's all in digital, they can actually transfer that via USB or FireWire into your PC and so on. But these mixers actually is analog all the way until until after the channel and before the faders, and you can actually adjust that as well, whether you want pre or post EQ, and they have the output. So all of the equalization, compression, and things that you can do with this mixer, it's all analog, and then each channel gets converted and sent out as FireWire or USB to your PC, as well as the master bus. So they have insert, so I can plug a microphone right here and then patch it through into my Pro VLA, and then comes back into here to this channel, and I can continue using it. So I print with the outboard gear, compression, EQ, or whatever effects I have with it. So that's was the difference. I hope that explains. So I will be making videos on this one as well, because even though this is about 7-8 years old model when they first released it, I bought it brand new, but they released it about 7-8 years ago. It went under the radar. Not many people know about it, but amount of things that you can do with this mixer, either the UFX 1204 or 1604, which has 16 channels or 12 channels. The amount of things you can do with it is just it's, how can I explain it, much more flexible than the Studio Live, and I guess what's the other one I'm thinking of, or the Studio Live AR series as well, you know, and they're not that expensive. So it all depends on what you want to use, obviously. Being from the analog world, the digital world confuses me, says BPix. It's not much different, really. But yeah, because once you've got the signal converted into digital, then you can manipulate it any which way. Where in analog world, it's pretty much everything analog. You gotta know what you're doing. You have to do your own routing of the audio routing and work it out. So yeah, that's another really great. You know, it's much more useful to me, much more practical to me than Studio Live at 1/3 the price as well. Okay, so what's been happening? Yeah, well, we're about 43 minutes into our live stream. Thanks for joining. I might start very quickly, take you around the studio. You guys like to see the mess in my studio? Yes? No? Let me ask, and I'll move the camera around for you guys. Oh, yeah, sure. Phil says sure. Okay. Well, I'll take you around before I wrap this live session. I'll wrap this up. I'll show you the studio. Let me see. And there we go. Right. Okay. So that's my. I should do a studio tour, a video. I might do it very soon, but I just have to clean up the mess before I actually make those sort of videos. So that's my front desk. As you can see, that's my mixer and my screen and my monitors. This is where all my microphone preamps are. I've got the Studio PreSonus Studio channel, then the ART tube channel, and then underneath that is the Behringer mic pre, and I've got TC Helicon voice effects at the bottom there. Lots of compressors, outboard gear are right there. And over this end is my outputs, some other audio interfaces. Let me see. Yeah, my EQs to EQ, and my PreSonus audio interface, and my Focusrite audio interface as well. And that's right at the bottom is my video machine, where I use the laptop to actually capture videos. And I have a client who actually brought in these two boxes. These are all videos that all family videos. You can see they will actually be converted into DVDs, and there's another box under there. So that's how much work I have. This is over here you can see my Mackie control surface. I use this when I'm mixing, so it normally sits about there, and that's what I use when I'm mixing. They're all motorized faders. Over here, my keyboards, at the moment they're covered because I'm not using them, and my guitars, Ibanez, Fender, Epiphone, and some other acoustic guitars right here as well. My crappy eBay electric guitar. And behind and underneath this cover here you'll see is my Pearl Fusion Plus acoustic drum kit. And over here, lots of mess. Wires. That's my Ibanez bass guitar, ukulele, right there. There we go. Yeah, boxes of things, and my coffee machine. That's important, you know. And that is the first CD release that I did in the studio. So I thought I'll frame it. So that CD release was recorded by me first time in the studio. Well, actually, I mixed it in the studio. I recorded it on site. So yeah. Sorry guys. That's all my acoustic panels and things. And that's another Casio keyboard there that I have. And a lot more. My microphones are all sitting there. I have Rode microphones, NT1, NT1A, the MXL microphones, the MXL Genesis. I've got a Behringer tube, I've got SM57, the SM58, the C1s, and a lot more, and headphones, and so a lot more things there as well. So I hope that was a quick tour of the studio. Your home recording studio says a late hello to Vache. The studio looks terrific. Yeah, it's a mess at the moment, but it'll be cleaned up quite soon. It's just that I've got lots of projects on, and I think I've taken on too many projects and no time to actually clean up. And the coffee, yes, it is important. Usually it's nice. I think it's nice when a client comes in to the studio to offer them a coffee and talk about the project, you know, have a chat. You know, that's what the coffee is for. I normally don't drink the coffee just alone myself, because the times of the day that I'm actually working here is late night. You know, after 6 or 7 o'clock in the afternoon, after dinner, I'm in the studio working until midnight or so, and I don't drink coffee at that time. But usually my clients come in on a weekend, in an afternoon, So, I'll make coffee, we sit down, we chat, and make sure that I understand what the client wants, what they want to record, and how they want the recording to happen, and so on. So, a coffee is nice to have at the same time. And Deer Creek Audio says, "Dang, I'm late." You're not late. You can still watch this later on. um, Deer Creek Audio. I've been watching your videos and I don't miss it. I think I usually watch them as soon as they are released because I'm at work and I work on the computer. So as soon as it come up, I listen. I think the years and years of experience that it shows that you have and the information you share, I really, really enjoy it. And guys who are on either on the chat now, and if you are watching this later at a later date, make sure you check out his channel. He knows what he's talking about, and you're gonna get lots of information from there. Um, for some reason, sometimes on some of your videos, you sound like Dave Sando. So, not sure if that's something good or hopefully you don't mind me saying that. But yeah, the ideas and the concepts are really, really enjoying it. So I hope you follow it up. Of course, don't forget to chat from Your Home Recording Studio as well. And all his new series of mixing the songs. And I've been following that as well. Not Sanders, Sando. I'm sure if you search Sando's place, you'll be able to actually find it. Maybe my spelling of his last name might not be coming up correctly. Um, but yeah, so Chet, I hope you are really enjoying mixing your new song. And I have been, yes, that's a Sando. That's the one. I hope you are enjoying mixing that song, Chad. Yeah, you should also check out Chad's channel, Your Home Recording Studio. Says you all missed the giveaway. Oh yeah, Phil is talking about me giving away my this thing that I just got it yesterday. And I think maybe you can confirm, Chad. I believe you got one of these in your studio, the ART Pro VLA2. Yeah, I gave it Chad earlier, so I give it to Phil. So Phil, are you ready to take it again? I think I don't need it anymore, so I've shown it to everybody. You ready to take it? Here we go. There you go. Take it. You got it? Don't drop it. Don't drop it. There's tubes in there. It will break. Got it? Yeah. Okay. Got it. Okay. It's all yours, Phil. Enjoy it. All good. Oh, good. So Phil says, thanks. You're welcome, buddy. Anytime, anytime. Of course, very soon I'll be giving away more of the Studio One Prime add-on features. So all you guys who are trying out Studio One, and you're trying the free version, the Prime, the free version of Studio One, then I will be giving away add-on licenses for Pro plugins, which will give you Pro Compressor, Pro EQ, Gate, and a few other plugins as well as the Empire XT, and what's the other one? And MiTi synthesizer. So yeah, just make sure you guys are subscribed and follow up. So if you are Prime user, you get those for free. I'll be giving them away, and I have given quite a few actually thus far, maybe about 4 or 5 sets of them already. So yeah, and if you don't want to spend money, and if you're one of the lucky ones to actually get those add-on plugins for free as a giveaway from me, it will make a lot of difference, because as soon as you get the compressor, the EQ, and the limiter and the gate, that is pretty much all you need to get a professional sounding mixes and songs. Of course, experience on top. Of course, that's without any say. So yeah, and your home recording studio says, yes, I do have a Pro VLA. I think it's great, and there's no competition in that price range. I love that thing. Oh, thanks for confirming. I sort of thought you had it, and think I've seen it in whether it was our interview or whether or some other video that I have seen it. So, and does anybody else have any questions like to ask about audio? Whether if it's a question you have about how to do something or how I do certain recording. So feel free to ask. BPIC says, my main preamp is DBX576, all tube and tube compressor. Yeah. So, tube compressor, yeah, that's really good. It's good. I don't think I have heard it or actually seen it, but DBX, to get them here, they are quite expensive. Even the FET ones, they are expensive here. So, unfortunately, yeah, I think a dual channel FET compressor, just the basic ones, 266 or, yeah, 166 is really expensive. 266 ones or 265s, they're like, you know, $300 or something, and it's, I wish I could have one, but I don't have one. You passed off the ART. What's your tube stage preference? I'm not sure what you mean by tube stage preference. In essence, just to say, pretty much all my vocal mics and my guitar mics, if I'm miking a guitar, they go through my tube preamps. And sometimes if I need to, I might have a outboard gear for my channel using pipeline to compress it as well. But yeah, that's what I normally use my pre's on the way in. As in compressor opto gear in, oh okay. Yeah, I've got few opto compressors. I just shown earlier, and I've got, I think, 2 or 3 sets of opto ones. But with tube compressors is usually my mic pre's, and I just have them coming in. It all depends what I'm trying to record. A question from Sevi says, how do you get the best performance from your artist? I think the best thing that works for me is encouragement and positive, and yeah, it's bit hard. I'm trying to find the right words to say. You know, if a vocalist is coming in and they want to record and they're not performing good, I tell them about the good bits. I tell them how good the good parts of the songs there are, and I show them, let's hear this bit. Can you hear how this part of the song, your vocal really stands out? I can really feel the emotions. I want you to repeat that in verse 2 or in the second chorus or in the bridge as well, and work it that way. So show the artist the best performance in that bit, and get them to multiply that in the rest of the songs, and give them coffee. But yeah, it's, and if the guitar players, usually if they're good, then I feel it. And if I feel it, I show my reaction to their playing. And then that reaction of them seeing me how they're playing, it gives them the encouragement to do even better. So it is very, very important in the studio when you have a client you want to record, is to put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, what's the best thing that that artist can actually provide, and what do they want, and make sure that they get what they want from their performance. So that's how I work. Um, I try not to mention too much of the negative things. So if they cannot get a certain rhythm or certain melody on their guitars, give them a break. Maybe uh, suggest an alternative one, and work it that way, and make it get them. Why don't you? We've got the good parts, all the good parts. We only left this melody of 8 bars left that you need to do, and you might be tired. Why don't you go practice? And in the next session, when you come in, we'll nail it. So that sort of conversation and communication really helps the artist to feel relaxed, because they could be tired, or they would have a million things in their mind when they come to the studio, because they booked your studio time, so they're going to come in. So before coming into the studio, they could have had a whole heap of life situation that you don't know about, and you have, unless they tell you. But a lot of the times you don't know, so you don't know how they're feeling. So it's a matter of, it's your job as a recording engineer to make sure that they are feeling comfortable, they are happy, and that they are giving their best performance. And if they're not, and you know they can, just say, look, what's the problem? If you've got something in your mind, maybe you need to share it so you can get it out of your head, so you can perform. Or why don't we book another day? It's simple as that. It's not a problem. Let's book another day. So that's how I work with my clients, and that's how I get best performance from them. Deer Creek Audio says, the DBX used to be really popular here years back in the States. Now the 160s, etc., I think are low priced vintage units. Stuff we only had as kids. Yeah, yeah. Um, yes, thanks for that, Deer Creek. I think, I do apologize. I think I can't remember your name, Deer Creek Audio. You might have mentioned in your videos, but I can't remember. Um, Maybe you could mention it so now I remember from now on. Um, Chris Harwood. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for joining. The best engineers know what the talent is thinking, for sure. Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure you've been in the as a recording engineer probably longer than me, maybe as long as me. I've been recording since 1987, 88, when I did my first recording. So, yeah, over the years, you get to know the artists' personalities. And some artists, they come in, it's their first time recording vocals, and they're so nervous. Sometimes they're just shaking, and you try to relax them, make them feel at home. You joke, you do one take. You say, okay, let's have a listen, and you joke, and then by the end of the session, by the end of the hour, they're much more relaxed because they get to know you. They more relaxed, and then bam, the performance comes out. So it's all about experience. Well, I think I need to wrap up now. It's been just over an hour. I need to head out and do some work. because clients will be waiting for me. And thank you everybody for joining my stream and following me on my YouTube channel. And I hope I was helpful in this live session. And yeah, I try to do once a month sessions, live sessions, to answer your question much quicker this way, and give you my ideas, my methods of doing things that might give you some um, ideas and methods of working. Uh, yeah, try to do it on a weekly basis. It's a bit hard for me because of the times. It is Saturday afternoon here, um, which is my busy times, and the clients will be walking in the next hour or so. So I need to prepare for them to come in and do some recording. The times that I am able to do it on, let's say, on a weeknight, where I don't get many clients coming in or hardly any, and I'll be doing. Everybody else is sleeping in the rest of the world because I'm in Australia, Sydney, and everybody else is sleeping. So it's pointless to do. I think I've done it a couple of times, and I only get one or two viewers all the way through. So um, I, tr- but I try to do at least once a month live stream at this time of the day, just to catch a bit more audience from from US and UK and and that part of the world while they're not sleeping. Well, thank you so much, and I hope I see you again. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a great time making music. Cheerio, guys. Okay.